Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we were basically just struggling to fix the power problems the whole time. We did end up getting the HV Energy hatch and upgraded all of the multi-blocks to it, but power wasn't really solved. I have kind of solved it on my own. I got an additional coil, because for some reason I fully upgraded this one to neodymium, but it didn't end up producing all that much more power, so just making a second coil was enough, and both of these are a little over 8k. And that's enough to solve my problems right now, but I can't expand much further. But I'll get onto that later, because I've got a little bit of housekeeping, because last time we tried out these new textures, and in the comments the reactions seemed to be kind of mixed. It felt roughly 50-50 with people liking them as opposed to disliking them, but as I've been using them more myself, I'm getting more used to it and I'm starting to prefer it a bit more, so I think I'll be the tiebreaker here and say that the textures are going to stay. Also, I was told to try the Pretty Pipes textures as well, and yeah, these are much better. So I guess for the rest of the series, I'm going to be having these textures, unless a lot of people in the comments say otherwise. Right, so what's the plan for this video? Well, to start off, I want to fix all these power problems, because quite a lot of things were suggested in the previous video, and two of them really stuck out to me. The first was the flux network, that I briefly mentioned in the previous video, which I thought was out of range, but I can just overclock the chemical reactor into EV to be able to actually make the flux dust. So that's possible, but the chemical reactor is pretty expensive, so I still might not be able to get it, at least for a little while. This would be almost a whole episode on its own. But a flux network would be the long-term solution to go for. However, I was also recommended to try P2P stuff for the ME system, which I've barely touched on my own before. I don't really know that much about it. I've been looking into it on my own, and this seems to be the best solution that I can do right now. Because for the cost of one channel, I can import energy directly into the ME system. I'm probably going to need to get some more energy buffers for that. And for another channel, I can export out at... I don't know if it is limited how much I can export at once. But much, much better than this. And normally the price of that is having cables everywhere, but I already have cables everywhere, so that's not so much of a problem. So I think the first thing I'll do in this video is get these P2P tunnels, because that can replace all of this wire spam. So what do I need for it? Just flux crystals, iron, and an engineering processor. That is very easy. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to need. 32, why not? Ah, I need more diamonds. Wait a minute. I'm out of diamonds. I don't think I'm making so much of a profit anymore. I think I'll switch over to lapis for now so I can save some of the diamonds. I guess then I've got to wait until I get... How many diamonds was it? 36? Yeah, 4 more. Or I could just make less of these. That works too. And then what can I use to tune this to energy? A lot of things. I think I'm going to need to make a bunch of these energy cells anyway, so that's what I'll get. And I may as well go all the way to dense, because I'm going to need to store a lot of energy in here. So I'll just get maybe 8 of these. Ugh, it's expensive, but I can get that going too. But this is going to take a very long time. I can probably get the P2P attachments soon, but the energy cells, that's going to be going in the background for pretty much this whole video. Well, that shouldn't be too much of a time investment, so what's the other plan for this video? Well, I've already shown that the lapidary dynamo has fuel problems. I can't really support it with very many diamonds, and it really burns through lapis. I don't know if I'm even making a profit of lapis at this point, and at its current rate, I'm not going to be able to have all that many of these because I just won't have the fuel to support it, even with a handful of upgrades. And while I could probably upgrade these to HV or even EV later on, I don't see myself having any more than maybe 2 dynamos, 2 lapidary dynamos, without upgrading the sieving a lot more. So I think I'll go for that oil drilling then. Also, this is only able to support, what's that, 3/5 of my power consumption? So if I can get a bunch more dynamos, that'll be extremely helpful. And I think a compression dynamo is the one that I want. Yep, diesel. And it makes a lot of energy. Okay, well, I'm going to need to get this fluid drilling rig. And this is not too bad. I'm not sure how much it produces at once, because I might want multiple of these. I'm going to need a distillery as well. Probably a couple of them. Yeah, because I need the light fuel and the heavy fuel to be able to get diesel. And how expensive is a distillery? Oh, not that bad. Yeah, I could make a couple of these. I'm probably also going to need some dedicated chemical reactors. I'm going to get a lot of residual hydrogen sulfide as well. Is there any way I can turn that into fuel? Probably not. And I don't think I'd be using enough sulfuric acid to really afford to turn all of it into that. Same with hydrogen gas. I'll store some of it and then just bin the rest, I guess. And I'll need another mixer to be able to turn it into diesel. I could also make refined fuel, and refined fuel isn't that bad. Diesel seems better, but refined fuel is cheaper. I'm not sure the ratios of light fuel to heavy fuel, but that'll determine whether I go for diesel or refined fuel. So I'll just make one of these for now, and just see how much I get. So I'll need an MV machine hull, 4 steel frames, 4 MV circuits, 4 MV electric motors, I need a bit more nickel, 4 MV pumps, and then I need 4 vanadium steel gears, but I don't have much vanadium steel. So I need a bunch of normal steel, vanadium dust, and chromium. I have 1 chromium. I'm going to need a bit more. Let's go 4 more. Actually, that takes the macerator, and the macerator is going to be in use for a million years. I can do it manually then. And I'm going to need a lot of steel. I'm running out of it already. So I'll just get a bunch of steel cooking while I get some more chromium and vanadium. Okay, so I've got 9 chromium and 9 vanadium. How much steel am I going to need for this? Oh, that's only 63. But the macerator is busy. I can probably get away with using the old one. Yeah, it's not terribly slow. Then I'll stick that all in the mixer. And it might take a little while, but it should work. I hope it doesn't mix with the Fluix crystal stuff. And then I just chuck all the dust through the blast furnaces. And that should make me a lot more vanadium steel. I probably didn't need that much, but if I want to make more of these drilling rigs, I'm going to need more vanadium steel. Yeah, I only need 6 ingots per gear. Or 4 with the extruder. So I can finally make those 4 vanadium steel gears. And then in the assembler, I can make that fluid drilling rig controller. There we go. So now what do I need for the multi-block? I need a bunch more steel frames, and then just 2 energy hatches and an output hatch, and 8 solid machine casings. So I'm going to need a lot of steel frames. So I need 15 for the outside, 4 for the 8 solid machine frames. So I need 18 more. So that's 36 ingots worth of rods, plus 24 plates for the solid machine casings. And then I think I'll do MV energy hatches, just because I already have them. And why not? LV output hatch. So then I'm gonna need MV cables for all of this. I can bring my signalum back. So I need to make a bunch of steel frames. I think 19 is what I need. And then 8 solid machine casings. Right, so now, where do I put this? I think I'll make another platform around here. So I'll just do the usual platform dimensions, 15 by 15. There, that big. Oh, and I barely can't reach to do the whole outside at once. Oh well. There we go. Okay, 1 more platform. So then where do I put the drill rig? I think I'll just center it on the back. I may as well put power on the back of it too. And then output hatch on the front. Just like that, I guess. And I think I remember how to do the frame correctly. Yeah. And then I don't think this will stretch. No. So I'll just have an intermediary connector. And that should be it connected to power. So does it work? Do we need a hole under it? I'm not sure what's wrong with this. I guess I could try just making the multi-block verbatim. No, still nothing. I'll open up the base completely and see if that changes anything. Nope. The only thing I can think of is that maybe there isn't any oil in this area? So let me see, I can get these prospectors. ore prospector, fluid prospector. Yeah, it's a bit expensive. Very expensive. It's not something that I'm particularly fond of doing right now. I'll try asking Google before I commit to this. Apparently it can't be overclocked. But the multi-block literally told me to do this. Yeah. I can see if that's the problem. Okay, let's see. Just replace one of them. Okay, now it's working. Sure. It literally says 1.5 times multiplier when overclocked. Oh, unless that's when I give it HV power instead. I don't know. But it works now. Yeah, and it's full of oil. I'll still just move the port to the front for easier access. Okay, there. So now I can start doing the processing. So I'm getting heavy oil out of this. So we'll need 2 distilleries. One to turn it into light fuel, one to turn it into heavy fuel. And I am going to be getting a lot more heavy fuel. And I need more light fuel. I don't know if there's a way to turn heavy fuel into light fuel. Oh, I can turn severely steam cracked or lightly hydro cracked heavy fuel into light fuel. Okay, well, either way I'm going to need 2 of these distilleries. Okay, there's 2 advanced distillery 2s. But now I'm going to need to get the power for them. I'm going to need to get a lot more aluminum. 32 ingots will do. Then I'm going to need another energy converter. And this is all going to take quite a while to go through. Okay, there, another power converter. So let me see. I may as well put the 2 distilleries down, something like that. And does this connector stretch that far? Barely. So then these are both getting power now. And I'm going to need some fluid pipes to connect this together. So I want one of these on 1, and one of these on 2. And if I take out of there... Okay, that's all working. I'm getting sulfuric light fuel and sulfuric heavy fuel. The drilling rig isn't quite able to keep up with this yet, so I might need some more of these. And yeah, I'm making a lot more heavy fuel than I am light fuel. So then I need both of these in a chemical reactor with hydrogen. Yeah. Maybe I turn the hydrogen sulfide into... Can I turn it into hydrogen gas somehow? Yes. With the electrolyzer. And I'll pump that hydrogen back through. Yeah, and it should be equal. So I'm going to need a chemical reactor. And this is also going to take a bunch of stuff. Okay. I think I'll need an electrolyzer too. Oh, this one's much simpler. Okay, so there's a chemical reactor, and there's an electrolyzer. I think I'm going to need to give this a baseline of hydrogen, just to get this going a bit. Then I can have the... Do I have the electrolyzer off to the side, or on the same tier? I think I have the electrolyzer not that far apart. I don't know how to tell this to constantly keep 1 slot for heavy fuel and 1 slot for light fuel. I have a suspicion once I connect this together, it's just going to fill both of them at once. So I'll just put 1 bucket's worth in each slot and hope that it never fills itself up. So then I'm going to want to output from both of them into here. That's not how it works. I need the face of it to be the output, and the back of this to be... I need to allow fluids through. But I'll probably move the output of that anyway. Why is it not taking that? Auto-ejecting doesn't seem to fix it. I'll just set a different face to be the output, but it's still not accepting anything. What if I separate the pipes? That seems to do it. Some of the light fuel made it in there. Okay, well now it's filling. I don't want to connect it to power until I can get the electrolyzer stuff working. Then the output here, I want... I'm going to have to filter this. Because if the electrolyzer still accepts the fuel as an input... But the output of the electrolyzer should only need to go into the chemical reactor again. Okay. And then I can probably just have an import bus that only takes sulfur here to get rid of that. I'm gonna need to grab some filters now. Now, which of these upgrades allows for a filter? I think basic might. Let me see. Please tell me. No, it doesn't have filters. Oh wait, advanced. That's the good one. I meant to just get improved. Oh well. I know advanced has filters. Although while I've been waiting for this, I just realized I could probably make this easier if I use the ME system. I think I'd still need the extra machines, but What have I said every time? Whenever I'm dealing with liquids, it's easier to just use the ME system. And I think that holds true here. You know, I think I might just do that instead. So I'm going to take down all of these fluid pipes and just put some of these pattern providers down instead. I think I might still have fluid pipes going into the distilleries. Maybe not. I'll see. I'm just letting this all process through. Okay, and these are all connected into the system now. So now I just need to make patterns for them. So I'll make the pattern for sulfuric light fuel and the pattern for sulfuric heavy fuel, and then turning sulfuric heavy fuel into regular heavy fuel, and then the same for light fuel. And then I'm going to need to make another mixer and tell that to make the diesel. But I'll just get these recipes in. Actually, I don't think this one needs a pattern provider. I think I do it with 2 buses, because I want to export all of my hydrogen sulfide into here. It's a bit slow. And then import all of the hydrogen gas and sulfur. Might want to put some cards in there. There, I'll just put 1 card in either of these. So now if I make some more HV circuits, that should be all I'm missing for a mixer. There we go, mixer. And then I'll just stick the mixer there. I can try and scooch some aluminum cables across to connect it up. And I'll put a pattern provider on it. And then I just need to make a diesel recipe. Stick that there. And then I should be able to just ask for 10 buckets worth of diesel. It'll just do it, I hope. Oh, yeah, it's already made it. So now, I just need a compression dynamo. And that is not that hard. Right, let's just order up 1 compression dynamo. And then I should be able to just place this down here. And if I place an export bus on this, I can set it to diesel. And it should just fill it up with diesel. But then if I get a crafting card, I can put that in there, and it'll craft the diesel that it needs when it can't fill this up anymore. So then it should start triggering the rest of this system to fill this up with diesel as it goes. Okay, now I just need to get oil into the system, and that's what the rest of this is for. I might actually want to take one of these acceleration cards. So then I want to import into the system, but I don't want too much. If I get 100 buckets of oil, I want it to stop emitting. Okay, so now I'm going to constantly produce oil. That's going to go into the system, and then it'll turn it all into diesel and put it into this compression dynamo. Okay, so now I can get the P2P stuff going as well. I'm going to need tons more cables for that. And what are the things that make the energy? Ah, right, the energy cells. I have them on me now too. So these... Where do I want to store the power? I guess I could probably store them around here. Yeah, that's slowly filling up with power. So I have a decent amount of cables now. Ooh, I am just going to steal one of these so I can actually attune the tunnels. So I'm just going to take pretty much every instance of an energy converter. I'm going to move this one around too, because I don't want it hanging over the void like that. I'm going to connect it back in that way. And I think, yeah, energy. I'm just going to go through and connect all of these up to the P2P system. And I really hope it works. Although there's surprisingly not that many things for me to connect up here. Now, why is this saying unlinked? They all say unlinked. And according to Google, I think I need a memory card for that. I already have one because I've been using it to fiddle with the requester a bit. So if I don't know. How does this work? I can copy and then I can load. Ah, that's output side. Okay. Output side. Output side. And if I shift click, this one is still unlinked. Huh? Yeah, that one's input side. That's going into all of these. Huh. So now if I copy that, I can configure that to go in there and there. Okay, I think I'm understanding this. And I may as well get that to go into here as well. Right. So this works a little differently to the way that I thought it would. I thought what it would do is I'd set up some of them to be an import, and they'd go into the ME system, and then some of them to be output, or export rather, and they'd take power out of the ME system. This works a bit differently, but it does work. Now I just need to upgrade the compression dynamo. And I think for that I'll just steal all the stuff from the lapidary dynamo. There we go. And then I'll just have that output into here. And then I don't think I need the lapidary dynamo anymore. So I can stop wasting all of my gems. And I think last, I'll connect up that as an output side. So I think then that's how I'm going to do the power stuff. So I can probably just remove these now. And I can probably get rid of all of these connectors and wires too. Well, actually, I think I'm going to keep them for now, just in case this system doesn't work. It's looking promising, but I'm not quite generating enough yet. Hang on. Have I run out of power? No. Why is this not extracting? Oh, there we go. Okay. I just had a bit of this set up wrong. Okay, it should all be working now. Okay, so I think right now my bottleneck is creating light fuel. So maybe a possible upgrade for this is getting something that can convert heavy fuel into light fuel. But if I'm doing it through this crafting method, I might be better off just getting more distilleries, making it at a time. I don't know. I can upgrade this on my own now, but the only way that I can see this getting better is adding more of the oil drills, production for more light fuel probably, because I'm not doing nearly as much heavy fuel, and more compression dynamos to just generate more total power. But that's it. That should be power problems more or less solved going into EV. Also, I don't think I'm going to need these energy cells after all. Well, they look cool still. Right, that is enough for this video. This is very, very good. This whole setup also just looks really cool, with all the cables going everywhere. This is pretty expandable for future, and I reckon once I get flux stuff, I'm probably just going to replace this, because P2P tunnels are a bit finicky, but this is pretty good. I am very happy with this progress, so I think I'm going to end this here. And I reckon next time, I might be able to start working towards EV stuff. Because now that power problems are solved, I shouldn't have to worry about supplying power to any future EV machines. So then I just go down the circuit line and get EV circuits, and then yeah, I'm all good for EV stuff. Cool. So we'll get into that next time then. But I'm still very happy with the progress we've got in this video. Right, I'm not sure how to finish this off anymore, so I'm just going to leave it here. Bye.